Panzer J back with Operation Live and Let Die. We're up to turn number 11, July 41. So before we get to Germany's turn, which will be officially 11.1, just a little bit of housekeeping from the Italian turn. So I had either forgotten or wasn't quite sure about what terrain is considered desert here in North Africa. There's about 3 shades of brown here. You got kind of a medium brown, dark brown, which is impassable terrain, and then a kind of a light brown. So basically, I did a couple of Italian moves that I wasn't either allowed to or wouldn't have done if I was taking the desert terrain into consideration. So this motorized infantry was in Cyrenaica. It came over 1 to Tripolitania and then went into Tunisia. But vehicles can only move 1 in desert terrain, so I had to stop here. So I took $1 off of Italy and gave $1 back to France. And then over here, these 3 infantry had went into Western Egypt. They did succeed in taking out the militia, but I attacked the infantry with 2 each, and it should have only been 1 each because they were -1 because of the desert. And I didn't actually roll a 1. So I'm going to take that attack back. I'm not going to send 3 1s against a 2. So I, again, took $1 off of Italy and moved the British up $1, okay? Now on to Germany. We're going to go for our tech rolls first, and we're going to shoot for advanced mechs, long-range aircraft, wartime economy, improved construction, and improved factory. So first, advanced mechs, we get an 11, so we hit there. Long-range aircraft, a 7, so we hit there. They both needed 7s. Wartime economy, a 7 or higher. We got a 5. That would have really helped. Improved factory, 7 or higher. A 6. That doesn't hit. And improved construction, 7 or higher. A 4, so nothing. So as usual, Germany's stellar luck with the tech rolls continue. So we move advanced mechs up. They're completed. And long-range aircraft up to 7, and they're completed as well. Okay, so that is our tech rolls. Now for our purchases, we have $58 to spend, and we're spending all 58 of it. So for 50, we're buying 5 fighters, 4 for Germany, and then they're going to lend-lease 1 to Italy. So I've already got the Italian fighter out to represent that. And then for the last $8 at $2 a piece, we're buying 4 militia. So Germany spends the full $58. Now on to combat, and we have a handful of combat moves to do. So I've already got the battle board set up over here to make things a little bit easier. So over first in the east, so we're going to take an artillery and 2 of these 4 infantry from Latvia and go into Estonia. Okay, that's going to be 1 attack. A second attack down here in Yugoslavia, and I've already broken up the units so that they can go to 2 different territories. So we're going to take 3 cavalry and 1 infantry and go into Macedonia. Then we're going to take the other infantry, 4 cavalry, and this fighter from Austria, 1, 2, and go into, I'm not going to try to pronounce that, but it's the Greek territory that starts with a T and has 2 mountain infantry in it. Okay, so that's 3 attacks. Then we are going to come over, and this entire fleet here in C zone number 15 is going to go 1, 2 here into C zone 11 and take on this light cruiser and this destroyer. So it's going to be a coastal defense ship. There is a major port there, so they can all move 1 additional. A coastal defense ship, a light cruiser, a destroyer, 2 torpedo boat destroyers, and a coastal sub will all come here. And the 2 transports, if I defeat these 2 British ships, the 2 transports are taking 3 infantry and an artillery from Western Germany and landing in Northern England. Okay. Along with those units, the tactical from Western Germany is also going to attack Northern England if I succeed in taking out these ships. So the tactical now, my planes have +1 movement. Plus there is also a air base in Western Germany. So they can go fighters and tacticals are 6s. So 1, 2, 3, it can definitely reach. Okay, so that's another battle. Then we are going to take the 4 transports with my 4 paratroopers from Western Germany, along with 5 of the 6 fighters that are in Western Germany, and they are attacking the British Midlands. Okay, and again, the fighters can easily reach 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then for the last battle, we are going to take the remaining fighter that's in Western Germany, come 1, 2, 3. This sub is going to come up from Sea Zone 18, is it? And they're attacking this light cruiser and this transport. Okay, so all the planes, at least the tactical and the fighters, will have all moved 3 to get to their attack positions. So that will leave each of them 3. The air transports, I believe, move 6, so they're up to 8, I believe. Okay, so that is going to be it for... Oh, and also this sub down here will continue to convoy that sea zone. So those are going to be all the attacks. So let's go ahead and take this attack over here first in Lithuania. So we'll take 2 infantry, one of which will be a 2. The other will be a 3 because of the artillery. And the 1 artillery piece from Latvia as well against a single infantry. And he'll defend at a 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our dice tray. I should have got this earlier. If you hear any snoring, ignore that. That's just one of my dogs. So, okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, so we have an artillery at a 3 with a first strike. So let's go ahead and roll for that. And we got a 2. So no combat, other combat. That guy is eliminated. So you take him off the battle board, and we'll go ahead and put our 2 infantry in Estonia. It's not worth any money, so I don't go up any income. So we'll put the 2 infantry and the artillery down there, and that left 2 infantry in Latvia. Okay, then down in Southern Europe, we are taking 3 cavalry and 1 infantry into Macedonia. So the militia there defends at a 2. And then we've got 3 cavalry, which would normally be 3s, but they're going to be 2s because of the mountain terrain. And then an infantry would normally be a 2. He's going to be a 1. So we've got 3 2s and a 1 against a 2. So let's go ahead and roll for our 3 cavalry. And we got a 2, a 5, and an 8, so we got a hit there. Okay. And then the militia in return, a 12, no hit. So let's take off the militia and put down our 3 cavalry. And again, Macedonia is not worth any money. Okay. So then we are attacking these 2 mountain infantry. So they are +1, so they should be 5s, I believe, for the mountain terrain. And then I've got these 4 cavalry coming down, which they would normally be 3s. They're going to be 2s. And we've got an infantry at a 1 because of the terrain. And then this fighter from Austria can easily make it 1, 2, especially with the long-range aircraft. Okay, so we've got a fighter at a 6. And we did get a 6. That's 1 hit. And then we've got 4 cavalry at 2s. 7, 11, 5, and 9, so no hits there. And then the infantry at a 1 doesn't hit. So now 2 mountain infantry in return, and we got an 8 and a 4, so even if I'm wrong and the mountain infantry defended a 4 instead of a 5, it still would have hit anyway. So 1 mountain infantry is dead, and I'm going to take off the infantry for Germany. Okay, so now the fighter at a 6, I got a 6, so that hits again. Just to look there, I don't know if you guys can see because of the glare. And then the mountain infantry in return, a 4 hits again. So again, even if I'm wrong about the mountain infantry being 5s, even if they're 4s, they hit on 4s anyway. So regardless, it would have been 2 hits. So we'll take off 1 of the cavalry and the infantry. Okay. So that leaves 3 surviving infantry, and that territory is worth $1 for Germany. So that'll go up $1. The fighter will leave there for now, and it'll move on non-combat. Okay, so now we will go ahead. We might as well go ahead and do the easier ones down here. So we'll do this convoy rating here. I can take a maximum of 3 off. So we're going to go ahead, and the black 6-sided die is Germany. The red is the British. So black Germany, red British. And they got +1, but I have +2 because of the sub. So $1 is taking off the British. So they lose a whopping $1. Okay. So then let's go ahead and do this battle here in C-Zone 24. That's another easy one. So this sub comes up 1, 2, and then one of my fighters from Western Germany can go 1 into that C-Zone, 2 to that C-Zone, 3 to this C-Zone. Okay, so we got a sub at a 3, a fighter at a 6, and he's got a defenseless transport and a light cruiser. So the light cruiser is going to be a 5. The transport will put off to the side. Okay, so we've got the fighter at a 6, and we rolled a 1. So we hit there. Now he's got his light cruiser at a 5, and he rolled a 3, so he hit. So I'm going to lose my sub as the casualty, and then take off both of his transport and his light cruiser. Okay, so then this fighter is just kind of circling around there in C-Zone 24, and it's moved 3. Okay, so now we are going to go to this C-Zone battle here in 11. So let's take his light cruiser and his destroyer, put them on the battle board. A 5 for the light cruiser, a 4 for the destroyer. And we're going to go overhead a coastal defense ship, which is a 6, a destroyer, which is a 4, a heavy or a light cruiser, which is a 5, 2 torpedo boat destroyers, which are 2s, and a coastal sub that is a 2. Okay, and again, with the major port, there's 1 extra movement, so that would be 1 to here and then 2 to here, so they can all reach. And then we'll take the 2 transports, and they have this artillery in Western Germany, along with 3 infantry in Western Germany. Okay, so they will only be able to land if we succeed. And then this tactical in Western Germany, 1, 2, 3 can easily reach. And again, that will participate if I win this naval engagement. Okay, so he has a destroyer present, so that negates the first strike for the sub. So we'll go ahead with a 6 for our coastal defense ship. And we rolled a 2, so that hits, so 1 hit. Then I've got a 5 for a light cruiser and a 1, so I hit there. So 2 hits, and that's all he has. So first his light cruiser at a 5, a 7 does not hit, and then his destroyer at a 4, it does hit. So I am going to lose my coastal submarine, and we'll take off his light cruiser and his destroyer. Okay, so now in that sea zone number 11, we got a coastal defense ship, a light cruiser, a destroyer, and 2 torpedo boat destroyers. And now I can invade northern England. So let's put the 2 transports on the board as well. Okay. And we've got a tactical at a 7. The artillery cannot fight on the first round of combat because I need to successfully land on the beaches first. So only the 3 infantry, and they're not Marines, so they're going to be 3 1s. He has 2 militia, so they're going to be defending at 2s. So put those on the board. Okay, so we've got a 7 for the tactical, and if he does get a hit on this first round, I need to take double casualties. Okay, the tactical, 12 misses, and then I got 3 1s and no hits. So then he gets 2 2s and a 4 and 11 miss. So we all missed on the first round of combat. So now go ahead and land the artillery, which is a 3. The infantry have now landed, so they are now 2s, and 1 of the infantry pairs with the artillery for a 3. Okay, so now let's go ahead on to round 2. We've got our tactical at a 7, and that misses again at an 8. Then we've got 2 3s for the artillery and the infantry. I'm not sure how that works for first strike on the artillery. I know obviously how it works in terms of, land combat, but since it came off of a transport, I'm not sure it still gets first strike. It seems like that wouldn't make a lot of sense. So I'm not going to do a first strike, just 2 rolls at a 3. And we get 2 4s, so we miss. And then 2 2s for the other 2 infantry, and we both missed again. Okay, now his 2 2s, a 1, he got a hit, so I'm going to lose 1 infantry. So this battle's going wonderfully. Okay, so we've got a tactical at a 7. Misses for the 3rd round in a row. 2 3s, both miss. And a 2, miss. Okay, his 2 2s, both miss at 4s. A tactical at a 7, finally a hit. 2 3s, both miss. A 2 for the infantry, he hits. So there's my 2 hits. So he gets 2 2s in return and rolls a 6 and a 4. So no hits there. So we'll take off his 2 militia. So 2 infantry and an artillery survived in northern England. And then this tactical is just right there. That'll fly back. So then I'll have to change out this minor factory to German. And that was $3 for the Germans. So up 3 for Germany, down 3 for England. So let's go ahead real quick before we do the last battle and adjust the chart. Okay, so Germany went up $1 for the 1 Greek territory to 50, and then 3 for Northern England, so that they're up to 53. And the British Fighting Irish, I believe, said they were at 25, so losing 3 for Northern England puts them at 22. Okay, so now we're on to our last battle. I forgot to put the artillery down there in Northern England as well. Okay, so this last battle, he has 2 jet fighters, a regular fighter, and 2 infantry in the British Midlands. I'm coming over from Western Germany with 4 paratroopers on the 4 air transports, and that's a stack of 5 remaining fighters. Okay, so we'll put those 5 on the board at 6s. And the paratroopers, now I forgot to look this up, so I'm going to put them down as 2 for now, but I'm pretty sure on the first round they attack higher, but I'm going to have to check real quick. Okay, so let's take his 2 jet fighters, and they defend at 8s. His 1 regular fighter defends at a 6. and his 2 infantry defend at 4s. Okay, so let me come over here real quick. I should have got this ready, and I didn't. Okay, so airborne infantry. They normally attack at a 2 + 1 on the first round in an airborne assault, which this is. Okay, so we'll go ahead and make all 4 of those guys 3s on this first round. Now, there are fighters involved on both sides, so any hits that either one of us get with our planes, we have to take off aircraft in return. Okay, so Germany has 5 fighters, so that's 5 rolls of 6. So let's go ahead and roll for that. So 5 6s. And wow, we got a 1, a 6, 2 5s, and 11. So if you look there, okay, so that's 4 hits. So he's going to have to lose all 3 of his planes, the 2 jets and the fighter, and 1 of his 2 infantry for my 4 hits. Okay, so now I've got 4 paratroopers at 3, and I only need 1 more hit. And I rolled a 1, 2, 4, and a 5. So that's it. So all his units are destroyed. So let's go ahead and roll for his 2 jets. And if he gets any hits here, I have to take fighters. So he has 2 8s. Oh, wow. An 11 and a 12. So no hits for his jets. His fighter at a 6. Rolled a 5, so I have to lose 1 of my fighters. And then he's got 2 4s for his infantry. And an 8 and a 10, so no hits there. So I have to take a fighter off. And all his units are destroyed. And these 4 paratroopers take the British Midlands. So that's now worth $3 more. So let's go ahead on the IPP chart. Move Germany up 3 more to 56, and move the British down 3 to 19. Although I think Fighting Irish didn't add $1 back to the British last turn. I think they really are at 20, not 19. So I'm going to let him double check that on his British turn. But I think the British have $1 more than we're currently giving them credit for. Okay, so then the 4 remaining fighters that survived are in the British Midlands. Okay, so now that is everything, I'm pretty sure, for combat. So now we're going to non-combat moves. Okay, so in Latvia, we had 2 infantry. Okay, and they are going to strategically rail to Warsaw. Also, this artillery that's in Lithuania strategically rails to Warsaw. Then this infantry in this Polish territory that starts with an L moves back 1 to Warsaw. This mountain infantry in East Poland moves back 1 to Slovakia. These 3 cavalry in Lithuania go 1, 2, and go to Warsaw, which I'm going to have to make room for all that. Okay. So that should cover the movements there. Then down here in Yugoslavia or Greece, this fighter came from Austria. So 1, 2. Okay, it's going to go 3 Yugoslavia, 4 Austria, and 5 Bavaria, because it can move 1 extra because of the long-range aircraft. So that is in Bavaria, I believe. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this fighter over here in C-Zone 24 had went 3 spaces. It came from West Germany. So it's going to go 4 to Normandy and 5 to Paris. So that's now sitting in Paris. And again, that has a movement of 6. Then over here, our planes in England all went 3, C-Zone 13, C-Zone 11, and then into the 2 land battles. So that's 3. So then C-Zone 11, C-Zone 13, and West Germany is their 6 movements. So let's put the tactical back in West Germany. Let's put the 4 fighters back in West Germany. And the 4 air transport go back to West Germany. Okay. And finally, non-combat moves here on the Western Front. The 2 infantry in Berlin are going to move up 1 to West Germany. The 2 infantry in Belgium are going to move 1 back to West Germany. And the 2 infantry in Picardy are going to move back 1 to Belgium. Okay. And I believe that is it for non-combat. Let me just go over things real quick. I'm pretty sure that is everything. Okay. So that is it. And one thing I did forget is I was supposed to get my free infantry for Berlin. So I got to get him on the board as well. So I'm going to place my new units, and then I'll go through the major territories that have units here on the board. And I do actually have a couple more rolls to do, which I'll talk about here in a second. Okay, so we've got 4 German fighters to place on the board, and they are all going in West Germany. Okay, so 4 German fighters in West Germany. Then we've got the 1 fighter that we lend-leased to the Italians. That's going to make its way easily down to Rome. So that is now in Rome. And then we've got our 4 militia. Okay. And we're putting those all on the Eastern Front. So we're going to put 1 in East Poland, 1 in the Polish territory that starts with an L, 1 in Latvia, and 1 in Warsaw, which I'm completely running out of room in Warsaw. One more thing. I know I'm a little bit out of sequence here, but I keep forgetting I was going to move this torpedo boat destroyer. So if it's okay with my opponents, even though I've already placed my new units, I'm going to non-combat move him. If they won't allow it, then I'll simply move him back. So he'll go 1 down to that C zone there. No, you know what? Never mind. Forget it. I'm not going to move him. So scratch that. He's going to stay in 35. So no movement there. So that's everything except for my 1 infantry free for Berlin. So let's put him down in Berlin. And then let me recap real quick what's where, and we'll finish up Germany's turn. Okay, so in Warsaw, there are 3 regular infantry, 3 cavalry, a militia, an artillery, and 9 medium armor. In Berlin, there are 3 light armor, an infantry, and an anti-aircraft. In Paris, there are 4 self-propelled artillery, 7 medium armor, and a fighter. In West Germany, there are 4 regular infantry, 4 air transports, 8 fighters, and 1 tactical. In C Zone number 11, there are 2 transports, a coastal defense ship, a torpedo boat, 2 torpedo boat destroyers, a destroyer, and a light cruiser. In northern England, there are 2 infantry and an artillery, and in British Midlands, there are 4 paratroopers. Okay. So that is it for Germany. Now, a couple of rolls I forgot. I forgot both last turn and now this turn. I need to roll for the Vichy recruitment. I forgot. So I'm going to go ahead and roll 2 D12s. I need a 1 or a 2. So let's see how the recruitment rolls go. And we got a 7 and 8, so that was completely useless. Okay, and the other roll I want to do is for Fighting Irish. He didn't do his British wartime economy roll. So on a D6, he's going to get a 5. So the Axis, to their detriment, just sent $5 over to the British. Okay, so let's just collect German income now. So they're up to $56. They didn't have any money left over. And then I believe the only bonus they still have is for Sweden. But let's just double check to make sure. Okay, Sweden's $3. Yep, that's it. So Germany will collect $59, and that finishes off Germany turn 11.1. It's now on to Global War 36 Enthusiast for the common turn.